Pimps, players, bros, and hoes. Mike Seatown here, back with another edition of What Do You Want to Know? And since it's my show and I can do what I want, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start this one off with a question I made up myself for myself. And that question is, where the fuck you been, Mike Seatown? Answer your question, you nosy motherfucker. I just had a lot of life shit happen over the past month. The biggest one being I moved out of my old place into a new place, which is why you have this really plain, boring background behind me instead of my normal, cool, pretentious, hipsterish background of records and CDs that you normally see. Plus, around the time I had to move, I went to South by Southwest, which took up a lot of time. Then I had to rush off with Dead End Hip Hop to go to Tallahassee to speak to the Sociology of Hip Hop class and do a live taping and go party with our friends MCYT and Dr. Lisa. So yeah, I've just been hella busy, all that shit plus just the standard Dead End Hip Hop stuff and just packing and unpacking and all that shit. I've just been busy, but I'm back now. I'm gonna have a little bit more free time on my hands than I had before, so I'll probably be doing at least 2 videos a week. So you'll have the What Do You Want to Know's, hopefully more concert reviews, definitely more vinyl updates, because I've been slacking serious on those. My vinyl is all backed up because that's all I do is buy records because I'm a fucking dork. Who needs to save up for retirement or something like that? Being an old piece of shit like me. Nah, fuck it. I'll just buy a bunch of records that I can't take with me when I die. Anyway, speaking of dying and records, that actually leads me to my first real question of this What Do You Want to Know? And that question is, Sam Wilhelm asked you, what do you want to happen to your records when you die? Mr. Wilhelm, that's actually a really, really, really good question. Don't ask me why I've thought about death a lot lately, but I have. And when I think of my will, the only thing that really comes to mind is what am I going to do with my records? I don't really care about what happens to my TV or my clothes or really my books or anything like that. But my records are the only real thing I have of value, my records and CDs. I'm not sure who I'd want them to be left to just yet. The only thing I do know is I sure as hell wouldn't want them to go to some thrift store or a pawn shop. That's just not where I would want my collection to end up. I struggle quite a bit with whether or not I would want the person that I left them to sell them on eBay or hey Faith, or if I would want them to take them to my local record store. It's if they sell them on eBay, they can get quite a bit of money, but I don't know. I think I'd really more so lean towards them taking them to my local record store. I think I'd rather have my local record store take them, turn them around, and make good money off of them. Because when I look back at all of the happiness that I got from my local record stores, and I'd like to be able to pay them back in a larger way. Of course, I bought the records, but I'd like to be able to give back to those kind of places in a much bigger way than just here's this $20 for this record. Plus, more so, I remember all of those extremely exciting times that I went in there and I found records that I've been looking for the longest time and got them at a great price. And I want my collection to go to somebody like that, somebody that's going to really appreciate what they just got. What are you talking about? What are you yapping about? What are you talking about? Huh? You don't like me talking about records? What do you want to talk about? friskies, fish, that kind of shit. Sorry. So yeah, I would like my collection to go to one of my friends who actually collects and appreciates records, and or go to one of my local record stores where some other dorky collector can be totally stoked on getting some of the fabulous records that I own. Next question. Mr. OD or Mr. Ode, whatever. Mr. Ode, we're going to go with that. Asked you, because you wore a short sleeve shirt in your last ass video, I couldn't help noticing your tattoos, or some of them. Current 93's Pixie was clear to me, but what is it on the inside upper left arm? I read non, but there seemed to be more. What other tattoos do you have, and do you mind showing them, telling about them? Mr. Ode, you have a good eye. For this portion, I think I'll go through all my tattoos, start to finish, in order of when I got them. But let me start off by saying, no, I definitely do not have a non-tattoo. I don't actually listen to non. While I do listen to some questionable music, Boyd Rice is not one of them. I don't know that he's racist. So most of the time, I don't actually think he is, but I just think that some of his shock rock tactics are a little bit too much for me to support. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm gonna start off with my leg. This was my cool straight edge tattoo, and it's also the first tattoo I ever got. It's probably about 16 or 17 years old, maybe. I was super stoked on this tattoo. I remember wanting a straight edge X, but I wanted it inside. Most of you guys won't even know this record label, but it was Catalyst Records. They did Birthright. They put out Abnegation. I don't know, some other like vegan hardcore bands. But anyway, I wanted the X inside the Catalyst symbol. I gave it to the tattoo artist. He came back. It was not the Catalyst symbol. Instead, it was the Chaos symbol. But being a 17-year-old kid, I didn't know how to say, man, that's not what I wanted, so I just got it. Now, I'm not even straight edge anymore, and I'm kind of stuck with it. But, I don't know, I would never dream of covering it up. You know, it represents a formative time of my life that I look back on really, really fondly. Without straight edge, I don't think I would have the ideals I have. Without straight edge, I wouldn't have a lot of the friends that I have now. So, you know, that tattoo really represents that for me. It represents, you know, what I found with punk rock and hardcore. It represents me meeting a lot of the people that would change my life. It just represents a foundation, you know, for what I am now. I would never be the person I am now without straight edge. So yeah, I'm still very fond of this horrible cheesy tattoo. I later added the angel over it because the straight edge chaos symbol was just really plain on my leg and it was just kind of ridiculous. So I got this angel from this comic book I used to read. Problem is, I totally don't even remember the name of the comic book. And this is why you should not get tattoos when you're young. I think having tattoos as a fashion statement is such a bad idea, but I did it. I'm not embarrassed of them. I'm actually pretty happy with them, even though they're terrible. So yeah, whatever, right? Other leg. This is an alien from the movie Aliens. That's really it. I used to be obsessed with the movie Aliens. I still think it's one of the top 5 best sci-fi movies ever made. Easy. I'm talking about the second one, Aliens. The whole idea of this leg was to have a bunch of my favorite horror movie and sci-fi movie characters. I don't know that I'm still going to do that. I'm fucking old, and I don't even know if that would really be cool anymore. I don't know. Inside arm. I got this as a tribute to a really, really, really good friend of mine who passed away some years ago. He was in a band, loved to be on tour, and this was the way before everyone had cell phones, right? So his idea was no matter where in the world you were, no matter how isolated or lonely or whatever you were feeling, you could always reconnect with the ones you loved through payphones. God, I mean, to me, that was always a really deep idea because, for those of you that have been on tour, you'll probably know what I mean. I've been on tour, and I can't tell you how much money I've spent calling girlfriends and friends on payphones in random ass neighborhoods just to tell them that I miss them. But this represents the idea that he had of just, I don't know, being free but still having a way to connect with the people that you love, even though it's not really through payphones, even though it's not really through cell phones, just whatever. But it also just represents my love and my admiration for Alan, and his life, his views, his music, everything is just it's an inspiration to me, and I wish more people got to witness him and his life and his being. He was an amazing person, and through him, it also inadvertently represents my love for his twin brother Scott, who's also, even though he may not know it, an inspiration to me as well. I have a tattoo on my back of the symbol of the band Him. Yeah, that band, the one that later became synonymous with Hot Topic. I used to be really obsessed with them in, like, I don't know, 2000, 2001. I was actually introduced to them through Alan and Scott, who I just talked about. But yeah, that's really it. I don't really have much to say about that. I still love the band. I'm not too stoked on the tattoo anymore, but it represents, again, a really important time in my life when I was all goth and going to goth clubs. You know what I'm saying? And whatever. But yeah, at least I didn't get a fucking heartogram, right? Yeah. Outside arm, it's a half sleeve of flowers. Like I said, I was a bit goth back in the day, so I wanted something really pretty on my arm, but then at the same time, I wanted something a little bit ugly. So I have these flowers, but I added the cockroach in the middle of it to kind of ugly it up, since cockroaches are the absolute most disgusting creatures on the face of the earth. But that's really just the story with that. I just wanted something really pretty because I was a little wannabe pretty goth boy. Other inside arm, yeah, band tattoos are pretty lame, but fuck it. This one represents my love for the music, poetry, philosophy, ideas of Mr. David Tibet, aka Current 93. Current 93 is my all-time favorite band. I won't spend a lot of time talking about them because I have a vinyl video where I talk about them quite a bit. But yeah, David Tibet is one of my all-time living idols. He's just amazing to me, and I can't see myself ever looking back at this tattoo and not being proud of it, just like I can't ever see myself looking back at Current 93's music and, not being in love with it and inspired by it. So my leg, this is a tribute to my beloved cat, Buffy, who died some years back. Yes, her name was Buffy, and I named her after Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Her sister, who is right here, is Faith, named after the other vampire slayer. But yeah, she passed away, and I was absolutely heartbroken. It sounds weird, but she was really like a child of mine, and I still think about her almost daily. So I wanted to have her with me forever. And I have the inside of the other leg reserved for when this little turd right here decides she wants to leave me too, which will hopefully not be anytime soon, right? Oh, maybe she wants to leave right now because she doesn't like me picking her up. But whatever. Yeah, outside arm, it's just an old school phonograph. Just represents my love of not only records, but music in general. Music has been the most important thing in my life. I would literally be dead without music. So this tattoo really represents my love of just music and all of the bands that have saved my life, all the bands that make me feel something now, you know, all the bands that have just represented ideas or given me ideas that I've had, right? Yeah? Yeah. So that's it for this edition of What Do You Want to Know? Hopefully this week I'll have another video up of, I don't know what yet, but we'll see. Faith is really, really into this. Maybe I'll make her a regular guest. Do you want to be a regular guest on the show? Yeah? Yeah? Mwah. Yeah, she does. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. You know how we do in these motherfucking streets. Peace, bitches. Right, Faith? Right.